All right. Chris, can you hear me?
I am here.
Okay, cool. Can everybody hear us? I don't know if, let us know if you can hear us.
Sounds like everybody hears us. We
There
just
we
got
go.
our fancy graphic up on the screen.
Yeah. Now I got to figure out how to, I got to get rid of that. There we go. All right.
There it is.
There it
That was
is.
good though. That was like the unveiling, the curtain.
Yeah, that was cool. But too bad it can't rise up.
Well, you can. You just have to have the right chair.
Yeah. They need some graphic of a curtain rising up. Okay, so everybody can hear us. Do we everything sound good? Okay, cool.
Looks like it.
Yeah. All right. Well, welcome to the show. We got Chris from RBP Trains here.
Thanks for having me, Eric. This is a long time in the making, so I appreciate it.
This should be a fun show. And we're going to go over the new Lionel 2022 Volume 2 catalog, which has some interesting stuff in there. So
I only looked at it a little bit today. So a lot of what I'm going to see, Eric, I'm actually going to be seeing for the first time. So
yeah, I just glanced at it. I didn't, because I kind of wanted it to be an honest reaction to stuff. I didn't want to sit there and study it for an hour. So I just went through the pages real quick and then said, okay, I'll look at it tonight. So.
Yeah, I kind of did the flip through, and then everybody was just blasting social media. So if anybody who's on has been on social media today, there's probably been a screenshot of just about every single thing in the catalog. But
sure.
It gave me some ideas. It gave me some things to think about for tonight.
All right. Let me see how many people we got on here so far. We got 229, which is good. And hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties. And we won't have to restart the stream or anything like that. So
why are we using your internet instead of mine?
I'm using a wired connection. I was like, I'm not going to do the Wi-Fi for this. So
I'm on 5G on my phone. So hopefully this holds up. I think we're going to be good.
I think we'll be
I'm feeling good.
5G is good. And I've got a gigabit connection right now with the wired connection. So I think we're good. Okay. Maybe we'll give it a few minutes since we're supposed to start at 8 for everybody to get in. If anybody wants to ask a question real quick of either one of us, feel free. I don't know if we'll get to every one of them, but we'll. Chris, are you able to see the stuff in the chat too?
Yeah, I have a computer. If you see me like looking down to the side, it's okay. Not me falling asleep. It's me looking at the chat here. Yeah.
So. Okay, so.
Lots of folks telling us what has been ordered on their side, so they're way ahead of the game.
Yes.
Gosh, even ahead of you.
Yeah. Well, I whenever I order stuff from the new catalog, I usually wait until almost the last day that you're allowed to, because there'll be a deadline in like, I don't know, 60 days or whatever it is.
Right.
And I always wait till like days 59 because I'll change my mind. I'll make a list, the initial list, and then I'll think about it for a few weeks and I'll say, maybe I'll get this one instead. So
that happens to me too. And then the problem is that I've already pre-ordered and committed. So then I'm like, I like this other color. Maybe I'll get both. And then next time I won't get two. Yep. And that,
yeah. And I always tell people it's not a race, it's as long as you get your order in by the deadline, it's not like you're going to get, if you order first, you're going to get yours first.
Right.
So I like to take my time and just think about it and sleep on it and then say, okay, and even then sometimes I've gotten stuff when it finally arrives and I'm like, what was I thinking when I ordered this? Why didn't I get that one?
I feel like that. I think every time something comes in, especially if I ordered something and then they start to arrive and everyone's posting like the other color. And I'm like, oh, But
I get that all the time where you're like, why didn't I get that one? What was I thinking? You know, like when the new cab forward just arrived, and I got the black one, and then when they arrived, I saw the daylight one, and I was like, why didn't I get this one? So
yeah. So get this for people watching. Eric texts me the other day, and he's like, Chris, I need your opinion. You want me to get the Lark or the Daylight? So I'm not going to tell you which one he got, but I offered my opinion, and then you 180'd on me.
Yeah.
So
I asked a few people, and I changed. I was talking to Brian over at Legacy Station, and I changed my mind on him like 3 times. I said, well, give me the Daylight instead of the black one. And then he said, okay. And I said, wait a minute, give me the Lark, you know. And then about 20 minutes later, I said, no, let me go back to the Daylight. So I ended up getting the Daylight.
Yeah, and a lot of times I'm relegated to what passenger set that I know I have in storage.
Yeah.
So in your case, you had the Lark, you had the Daylight, so 50-50 split, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've got both passenger cars, and so I went with the Daylight, and it's good. I like the new cab forward, but I like the whistle on the old one better. Even though this one has 5 whistles to choose from, it does not have the same whistle that the previous one did. So
put them side by side and have a whistle war.
I want to do a video about it when I review it, and show the whistle side by side. The old one had this super cool, like, echoey, haunting whistle that was just one of my favorites, and the new one doesn't have that for whatever reason. So who knows?
Well, there you go. It keeps the old one. It gives that extra value to the old one.
Yep. Do you guys know if Lionel is planning more European engines in the future? I don't know. My guess would be no.
And I haven't heard anything on that front at all.
Yeah, I mean, the only European one I know they've done is the Harry Potter.
And they did. And then, of course, that was based off of what that Kinlet Hall set they did a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to do it. I mean, MTH tried it, and maybe, I don't know. Maybe they bought some of the MTH European tooling. That would be cool, but I don't know. It's a good question. Be cool if they did. The only thing I ever suggested recently to the guys at Lionel, I said, what would be cool is a scale vision line Hogwarts Express. And they were like, yeah, we're not going to do that.
I don't know why not. I mean, it would be fantastic.
It would be great.
Sid, our fearless moderator, just said our blue splash screen is still up that says the show will begin shortly.
Oh, it is?
But much like you, I'm staring at my screen and it's right in front of me, but I didn't even see it.
So. Yeah, I see you and me. Let me see.
But it's all right. Yeah, while you clear that off, I mean, that would be neat. I always thought even just to do some scale representations of some of these more whimsical trains, like even like their Thomas and Friends line. Like a lot of other scales have big success with those. And there's a lot you could do there. But I think we could all sit here and speculate and provide our wish list. But
yeah, I mean, that could go on for days, that discussion. All right, so it's 8 o'clock. So we'll begin right on time. Look at this. So I'm going to share my screen with the Volume 2 catalog. And
here we go.
Someone says, will Lionel continue MTH's triplex? That is my number one wish. I hope that Lionel bought the triplex tooling. That above any other MTH engine, I hope they bought the triplex tooling. I don't know, though.
Yeah, I want the Dreyfus Hudson back.
That would be cool, too. Either one of those would be great. But the triplex, nobody else has done a triplex except for MTH. And
Mike Phillips, if you're watching this, it would be great for the next catalog to have the Eric and Chris section of it, where you have the triplex and the Dreyfus, please.
Yes, there we go. All right, so let me start this, and we'll get going here. There we go. All right, so we got the first page of the catalog. Get my mouse over here to where it'll work. There it is. And of course, we got the brass hybrid Challenger on the front. I like the front of this catalog better than the 2022 Volume 1. I don't know about you, but
yeah, and again, with 3 little kids, this reminds me of a book I'd read them at night. So I think that's why I looked at it and it brought all this peace to me.
Yeah, it's a really nice. I like this picture a lot. Got the stars in there and everything. It's great. So Page 1. We'll skip over some of this. There's the base 3. What do you think about that base 3?
So I have it ordered, and I am keeping an open mind. So I think that's all you can do, right? Because they're not going to keep on. I mean, you can't get the other systems anymore. So onward we go.
Onward. Yeah. We'll see what happens. It should be interesting. I don't know when it's going to come out. Hopefully it'll be out, by the end of this year, but we'll have to see. I'm not sure what they have in mind, but I guess you can still get the Cab 1L remote if you want. But I'm holding on to my legacy remote like it's made of gold, because I'm like,
I think everyone is. Yeah, everyone who has a legacy. I pick it up, and it's like I was very generous with it. It's like someone came to run trains, I'd be like, here, you slide this button and it'll blow the whistle. And now I'm like, well, are you going to drop it?
Yeah. Don't break it. I can't replace it. It's those things are like hen's teeth.
Sit on this air mattress, and then you can,
Yeah. I mean, I like the smartphone control, but it's nice having a remote. But I think my hunch is that there's probably other things at play, like the technology and supply chain issues and all that stuff. So probably going smartphone is the practical thing to do. But there's what it'll look like. So that should be fun when it comes out. It'll be interesting to see how well it integrates with everything.
It'll be nice that you might be able to get dynamic updates now. Since it's GUI based, you can update the screens, and then they can take feedback and apply it more quickly.
Yep. The one thing I don't see on here that I'd like to see is an incremental speed. Like you've got the speed knob, but it'd be nice if there was a little, like on the MTH DCS app, they had a little arrow where you could increment it in just 1 mile per hour. But we'll see what they do.
Yeah, I think they're going to take a lot of feedback on that, but
yeah,
here we go. The big engines.
Yeah, the big engines. Here we go. So, so we got the brass hybrid Challenger. When I saw this, I was kind of surprised because they did a Challenger not too long ago.
Right. I was thinking about that, so I actually pulled that one out. It's behind me on the layout, and I was feeling nostalgic.
Yeah.
It was only 2017 that they did that.
Yeah, I mean, it was fairly recently, and so I was a little bit surprised. Now it's brass hybrid, so I'm assuming that means it's probably going to be a little more detailed than the previous Challengers, maybe.
No, I would think so. Well, it's very different looking. I mean, even though I think a lot of folks will hear Challenger and think, "Oh, Lionel's done the Challenger a bunch," but it's a very different train engine.
Yeah,
I think that's the important thing to remember as folks are looking at this model.
Yeah. And the Challenger is it's kind of like the big boy. Like you could do it in every issue and people would probably buy it. So it's one of those timeless classic locomotives that everybody likes. So
the whole brass hybrid thing has been interesting though. With the Strasburg 90, which of course I still think will be the engine of the year when it shows up. And now the brass hybrid Challenger. So I guess this is going to become a trend. We're going to see more of this. Maybe they're taking hints from Third Rail or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the reason is. If I had I try to always think like from a business point of view, and maybe it's easier and more cost effective for them to do it in brass, and they can it's kind of a win-win where they can get more detail and I don't know but I think it's going to be cool. Let's take a look at the. We got road number specific crew talk. That's going to be good.
We don't have to have vision line for that.
And road numbers.
I applaud that. That's good.
Yeah, that's nice. I wish they would do that in all their locomotives.
Right.
It'd be great. And they got the 4-digit addressing in the base 3, which will be nice. And whistle steam and 3-speaker sound system. So 2 in the tender and 1 up front.
So yeah. So for folks watching, that typically there's a speaker in the tender for the longest time. And then on the high end engines, then there were 2 speakers in the tender. And then Vision Line gave you the 3 speakers and like that stereo effect. And now here they are, not a Vision Line engine, but that technology is becoming standard. Yeah.
It makes a big difference when you blow that whistle and it comes from the front of the engine rather than the tender. It makes a big difference in how it's present. It's really cool.
That was like when I did a video and I had the MTH restoration big boy and then the Vision Line big boy and just kind of blew the whistles. And even though the MTH one sounds more like the real one, I think, at least the one you would hear on videos, you just can't beat that huge sound. I mean, you know this. I mean,
yeah, I mean, they give it like with the speaker, with the two locations for the speakers, they give it has this like cool stereo kind of echoey effect that just, it sounds awesome. It sounds incredible. So that's nice to see. It's not Vision Line, but it's got a Vision Line price, as we'll see in just a moment.
Yeah.
$2,500. It ain't cheap, but then again, nothing is cheap nowadays. So, $2,500. Yeah. I think that seems to be becoming the standard price for steam engines. More and more, they're inching up towards like 2,000, 2,500.
Yep.
They used to be, I think when I started getting steam engines, they were around 1,000, 1,100, and so now they're creeping up there. So we got several different. We got the Pilot, which I like. We got the Greyhound, and then we got 3819, the 3826. I like how they're doing some different road numbers than before.
I'm pretty sure a triple header of those three would look great on your layout, Eric.
Yeah.
But, just saying.
I've already got 3 Challengers. I don't know if I need a 4th one, but
no, you don't need a 4th. You need a 4th, 5th, and 6th one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. And then I'll go for the 49er. There we go. Then I'll bring it down with me, and then we'll run them all.
Yeah, this is, so they got some. Let me see how many they got. So they got 6 of them.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Which one are you liking? Are you liking the 49er?
To be honest, if you go back to the first page, the one right under the Pilot, I like the gray one.
That looks really cool.
And I'm not sure. I'm not a rail historian. I don't know which one of these would have been the true to real version of it, but I do like that gray one.
I would guess 3819, since it's on the cover and stuff. Maybe that's the prototype one. Maybe someone can comment on that. I don't know.
The 49er, though, it would look really cool next to the Vision 49er.
That would be cool.
It would be pretty epic to have those two running together.
I'm not sure which one. I like the Pilot. Just I have a soft spot for Pilot locomotives, but that's an acquired
whenever I
taste.
see a Pilot, I think of you. But even when I was sitting there with the Scott and the Trains group, and they brought out that Pilot engine, the first thing I said was, "This is an Eric Siegel engine right here."
Yeah, it's an acquired taste. Not everybody likes them, but I kind of do. I mean, I think they just look so neat, and it kind of lets you better see all the little details that go into making one of these things. Even though it's not very realistic,
right?
But you never know. It could be realistic. Maybe they drove the Challenger through a CRL car wash, or that's the stripped paint, brake fluid, and paint stripper car wash, and it came out like that on the other end. So these are really cool though. I like them. And they got, I don't know what this style 3 is. Does it say? Because it says 3836, 3839, and then unnumbered style 2, and this one says style 3. So,
well, it sounds like we have more questions than answers, which is fine. I'll have to do some research. The early Challenger is not something I've really researched or looked up, so it's kind of opening this is a new frontier for me.
Yeah. We'll see what it's. Let me see if it says what this thing with the style thing is. Yeah. I don't know what the style thing is. We'll have to look into that.
I don't know. See, and I do like the black one, but I'll tell you, and someone's agreeing with me about the Greyhound scheme, so I feel validated. So maybe that'll have to be the one.
Can't go wrong with Greyhound. It's always a winner in my book, and that 49er just is incredible. But and
the 49er is such a polarizing paint scheme, because people will either embrace it and say, "Well, that's really neat," or, "Boy, you can feel the sting." You put a video on the 49er out there, and Some folks get you get some upset folks. But when I first saw that one back in 2017, I mean, it jumped off the page. I think it was like the little red accents on the wheels, like
yeah. It's a sweet locomotive, and yeah, it might not be prototypical, but I always say it's your layout. It's realistic for your layout if you put it on it. So who's to say?
All right. So what's next on here? Oh,
there you go.
These are the new Mikados, right?
Yeah.
So when I heard Mikado, I won't lie, I was kind of like, okay, another Mikado. I feel like it's in like every catalog, but these do have some unique styling to them that I wasn't expecting.
I'm willing to bet these are XMTH. I know the next locomotive is. So
okay. Well, then that would explain it.
Yeah. So it's got whistle steam. I was hoping it had a swinging bell because it kind of showed the bell at a tilt, but it doesn't. Yeah, I would be. Yeah, well, I don't know. It looks like it has a red glow in the firebox though, so I don't know. Might be MTH. It might not be. I think it's really cool that they're taking the time to sort of correctly convert all the MTH stuff to Lionel.
Mm-hmm.
They're not just throwing it out there and saying, "Well, here it is with in a Lionel box." They're actually putting whistle steam and all the correct Lionel stuff in there, so that it is an actual Lionel engine at that point. So, any of these appeal to you?
So on these, it was the Pennsylvania.
Yep.
I don't know why, but the Pennsylvania.
I love those doghouse tenders.
Yeah, and maybe that was it because it's so different.
That's the one that caught my eye too. Was the one on the bottom left here with the doghouse.
So yeah, for those in the live stream, I will probably not get a Mikado, but lots of you get Mikados and share them on your channels because I want to watch them. So.
Yeah, very cool. $950, which is fairly reasonable, I think, in this day and age.
Because the Mikados were typically what, $600-700?
Yeah, they used to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so everything's gone up, But
the fact that they kept it under 1,000, though, I think that sounds very intentional, which I think we can all appreciate. Because I would have thought 1,100. Seeing an engine like this, every Lionel steamer these days, it's like the floor is 1,100.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, if you ever talk to the people at Lionel, if you go to York or whatever and talk to the folks who run Lionel, you learn real fast that they're great folks and they're trained folks. They love trains, and they're trying to get the prices as reasonable as they can and yet still make a profit. And the fact of the matter is, especially in this day and age, like with all the supply chain issues and nonsense going on in the world, I think it's a small miracle that we're actually getting these things at all, and they're not on back order for 3 years.
Right. Yeah. And I've been thinking the same thing as products have been trickling in this year. It really has felt like a normal year for getting trains. It's not unusual, even on a good year with nothing going on in the world, to have a train delay by a month or two.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've been very on schedule with a lot of these things.
Yeah. So I think that's great. And, they're expensive, but I always say they're expensive for a reason. It's because they're expensive to make. It's not like they're making this for $50 and turning around and selling it for $950.
Right. Yeah.
If I had to guess, they're probably, it's a business. So it probably costs about half that to make it, and then the dealer has to make some on top of that. And they need to make a profit on it. So, it is what it is. But these look really nice. I do like that doghouse on the Pensy tender though.
And so is it more Mikados on the next page? Again, I didn't get too much of a. Oh no, we are
Greenbriers.
Okay. Well, now this might mess me up.
Yes. Now I'm gonna, let me see if I can do this or not. Overlay. I have a picture of the green. What you're looking at here is I know for a fact this is the MTH Greenbrier, because MTH was the only one that ever did the Greenbrier prior to this, and I actually have Greenbrier in my collection. So
I wanted a Greenbrier so bad for the longest time, and this predates having a YouTube channel or even this layout behind me. And I remember like just living vicariously through watching you run yours.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, gosh, that was several years ago.
Yeah, it was.
And I couldn't find one to save my life.
It was quite a few years ago. Let me upload this. Yeah, so there's my C&O Greenbrier. Fantastic locomotive. And so I have a feeling this is the MTH Greenbrier that they've retagged as Lionel. We'll have to see. But I would be very surprised if it's not, because it says all new product. And for them to have an all new product right now, in my book, it's probably XMTH. But yeah.
Right. And then with all of those new electronics and the whistle steam effects and everything else. So yeah, no, you're right.
But yeah, these look fantastic. I don't know. I forget which road number do I have. It's 612. I don't know if they're doing 612 or not. No, they're not. Okay. But I think these look great, especially
they had to go yellow belly on this.
Yes. I think this looks awesome.
The question is, what will the actual like color come out? Will it be kind of orangish, or will it be yellow like the yellow belly they produced in the 90s? That will be a cool looking train though.
I don't know. I mean, it's the chassis. Well, the chassis should be yellow, because I got some chassis passenger cars like this, and they're yellow. The stripe is yellow. So this might be a misprint in the catalog. I don't know.
Well, when you get yours, we can all check it out. It's gonna be
this
great.
one I will definitely be getting. When I flipped through the catalog, I saw that and was like, "Ooh, I like that one." It kind of reminds me of like a Dreyfuss Hudson in a way, like with that fluting and everything.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, in terms of that, but
yeah.
I do think, I bet that's kind of like the pacemaker Mohawk. It's going to sell more than anyone expects.
I hope so. It would be cool. And they got a caboose to go with it. Nice little caboose for $120. And they got a bunch of passenger cars too. So very cool. Excited to see this one.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that one with the passenger set will be
this one or this one.
Well, both, in my opinion, both, because I love the fantasy what if schemes.
Yeah.
But you know, that the prototypical looking train with those Chesapeake and Ohio coaches.
Yeah.
And the streamlined.
So if you were going to get one of these, which one would you go with?
Oh gosh. Well, I would probably go with the more traditional looking, the actual prototypical looking engine.
Yep. Like this one.
But if I could do both, I totally would.
Yeah. It's going to sound fantastic. I've always loved the MTH Greenbrier. Its only downside is that it's got MTH sounds rather than Lionel sounds, and so it's going to be cool to see a Greenbrier with Lionel sounds, because you just can't beat Lionel sounds. They got the best in the industry.
No, it's gonna have some incredible sound going around the track.
Yeah, I kind of like this Family Lines one too, oddly enough. So I don't know. This can be a tough choice. Very cool. I like all these, and they got the 21-inch passenger cars to go with them. So that's my only question, though. Is this actually going to be orange, or are they going to make it yellow? You know, I don't know. Maybe there's some precedent for making it orange. I don't know. I don't know enough about C&O history to know if that's supposed to be, if there's any precedent for that at all.
Yeah, and it could just be perhaps. Oh, well, I guess. Wait, the turbine, wasn't that more of a orangish color?
No, that's yellow.
Okay, well then there you go. So yeah, I bet it will be yellow. It's probably just the way it looks in the catalog.
Yeah, I would, but it looks orange down here on the cars too. So hopefully that was just a misprint, and they'll issue a correction for it. But either way, I think it's cool. And if it has orange, as long as it, if it matches the passenger cars, as long as it matches. but I don't know. We'll have to see.
I have to laugh. Gino in the chat is like, Eric, go easy on yourself. Just get them all.
Yeah. I'm not that. I don't have that much resources, unless I just don't want to pay my car note and my mortgage and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Yeah, but pretty cool. I'm doing we're doing a podcast with Ryan Kunkel from Lionel in August, I think, and we might. I don't have they invited you to that, or if they haven't, we can bring you in. But
they have not. So if you're watching this,
yeah, those are always fun, and I think we're going to have Ryan on, and so he'll be able to answer a lot of these questions that we can't answer now.
Yeah. Well, that's and these are all good because it's given us all a lot to think about. I think, and I saw some chatter about the color on this just today, right? I mean, It just came out, and that's how much it stirred up. So the fact that this set has already produced that much interest, I bet we're going to see a lot of them.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
It's always cool when there's a surprise hit in the catalog where they're like, wow, we're getting a lot of these, and they didn't expect it. So,
like the Volume 1 catalog that had the pink train in it.
Yeah.
Because that was the first thing I'm like, yep, sign me up.
Yeah, that was just like, when I'm making the list of orders, there's maybes and there's definites, and that was the first definite. I was like, yes. How often do you get a pink train that's actually prototypical?
Right.
So
okay. This here, I think, is probably, for me, the most exciting part of the catalog. I did spoil this one for myself, and I think a lot of people are excited about these moguls.
Oh, by the way, Matt said they'd love to have you on too. So
oh, good.
I kind of invited him on the air, so hope that wasn't out of line, but
it worked to my benefit.
There you go.
Thank you, Mr. West Chicago Model Railroad. I'll hit you up after this.
Yeah, the last time we did a show with Ryan from Lionel, it was it was like 3 hours, but it was a lot of fun. So yeah, that'll be in August at some point. And if you guys haven't listened to the Matt and Matt O-Scale Trains podcast, check it out when you can. They do some great shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what were you going to say about the Shays? Or are these Shays? Or
they are moguls. So I have heard nothing but, when is Lionel going to make a mogul again? I want a mogul again. And it's been that October York last year. I remember listening to at least 6 different people approach Ryan at Lionel and say, we want the moguls. And he had this smirk on his face. And this must be why, because he knows the pipeline here the next couple of years. And obviously, with all the success around the Strasburg locomotive, the next question was, well, you're coming out with 90, so now you need to make 89. You might as well build the whole railroad. So this was probably the most reposted page of this catalog today. So anybody who's watching tonight, who is on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever you are, I saw more of this than anything else, and this really got me excited because whether you have a big layout or a small layout, this engine's going to work for you.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a legacy high-end engine. So that's what I like about it. Like, they didn't go LionChief. They kept it in the legacy line, which I think is important. And it's going to be a great pairing with the number 90. And the price point is
$800.
There you go.
Which is reasonable in this day and age.
Yes. 90 was almost a $2,000 locomotive. This one comes in at 800. So if you're not doing 90, do this one because it's going to be totally worth it.
Yeah, this is great. I actually like these Canadian National passenger cars. They look really cool. But any of these is going to look fantastic. What do they got on the next page?
Let's see.
Strasburg. There it is. 89.
Yep, there it is. So, and of course, I guess there's 2 variations. I'm looking at it on my phone, so it's tiny.
Yeah, they got the 70s version and the 2000s version.
All right. Yeah.
I'll probably get the 2000s version.
Same here because it's kind of capturing those memories that I've been making when I ride up there.
Yep. And they got some passenger cars to go with them. The wood coaches that look great. And I wonder if you know what? I think these are those XMTH wood coaches that I've already got some for the Strasburg from the last catalog, and those MTH wood coaches were fantastic.
Yep.
And so Lionel was really smart to buy those because they're just, I mean, they're perfect.
It's
For
funny
some
because I think you and
projects.
I both have our whole set of those coaches now. We're just waiting for the engine and
Yeah.
the
I
observation
was like,
car.
okay, I got like 6 cars now. I don't have anything to pull it.
I almost put it behind the Norfolk and Western J the other night.
Yeah.
Just to simulate last summer.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the passenger cars are going to be great, and coupled with these Mikado, the Moguls, these are going to be, I think it's going to be great. And it's got, let's see here, I don't know if it probably doesn't have whistle steam. It doesn't. Does it say it has it? I don't think it does.
I don't know. You have the big screen. I got the small screen.
It says it has a new gearbox design, whatever that means.
Oh gosh. Okay.
I don't know what that means. If someone wants to comment.
Yeah. No comment on the gearbox. As long as it runs, we're good. But this would be my pick for the catalog. If somebody said, Chris, what is your favorite thing in the catalog? It's these Moguls.
Yeah. This is really.
I'm a big Steam fan. You're a big Steam fan too, but there's just something about these guys that I like.
So are you? So you're liking '89, the 2000s version?
That is the one. Yep.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go with that as well. I don't know if I'll add any more passenger cars or not, but
yeah, I think I'll just stick with the red ones that we just ordered.
Very cool. Yeah, the red ones. I mean, they look great. I mean, those MTH wood coaches were always fantastic. So I was really excited to see them doing that.
Yeah, and they didn't change the LEDs or anything in them. Like it's the exact car.
I think so. I think so. I mean, they've really. I mean, when it comes to getting MTH rolling stock, you really don't have to change anything.
Yeah.
You know, it's already perfect the way it is. So, you know, why mess with it? So, good job here. I'm really excited about these. And I know everybody else is too, because anything Strasburg is always exciting. Oh, then we got some more. We got some more.
Okay, here's the add-on cars.
Yeah.
That observation card looks like the one they just cataloged. Maybe it's not though, is it? No, it's not.
Which one?
They were a little different. There's a Philadelphia and Reading. That's the one I was thinking of. That's not in here. That was in the last catalog.
Yeah, yeah. These are the heavyweights. They're a little bit different. Maybe I'll get one of these just to mix them in. I don't know. And I got a caboose too, which is cool. I don't have a Strasburg caboose. That might be fun to get.
Well, you know, you make a trip up here, and then we'll go to Strasburg, and then we can.
Yep. Oddly, I've never been to Strasburg. I actually, you know, I don't take a lot of train trips, because I'm too busy working to pay for these things. Train trips.
I hear you.
One of these days, the good thing is, like I was talking about earlier, my girlfriend, she likes trains, and so she's down for taking some train trips. Like I want to go on the Amtrak, the Zephyr, you know, and a couple other ones, and go up to Canada and do some of those rides. So hopefully it'll be sometime in the near future we'll start doing that. I've never been with someone in the past who was like, yeah, let's go on a train trip. It was always something that I was going to have to initiate myself. So that makes it a lot easier.
It does. Yep. That sense of adventure.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, these are really cool stuff. Okay. Now we get to the diesels.
Diesel time. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Diesel fans.
Get ready. You know, one thing I kind of like about this catalog is that, and volume 2s are usually like this. It's not, and the last catalog too, to some extent, was that it's not, there's not too much stuff, you know, like they've put out catalogs before where it was kind of like overload.
Mm-hmm. And it was I know what you're saying.
I don't know what to get. There's so many great things, you know, and it's just, you know, so it's nice when they put out something where there's not like 20 steam engines in the catalog. So
right, it's more focused. For me, it's easier to digest, and then you're not worried about two things that you really want, and you know that. You know, once it's gone, it's gone, right? So that's always the tricky part.
Right. All right, so let's check out the diesels.
There we are. The SD40s.
What do you think about those?
I'm a sucker for the SD40. That is my favorite diesel engine. You know, with the low hood, it just looks mean, looks tough. Probably, and my favorite diesel engines are the SD40s. But I really am looking for Lionel to make more of the like the AC44s or the ES44s. So we'll have to see. I didn't look at this section of the catalog. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm a big SD40 fan too, and I love the tunnel motors. Those are always I've got a few of them, and I never get tired of them either. I'm not sure which of these I would pick if I was going to get one, but maybe that Western Pacific. It's probably not the most prototypical thing, but I like the colors. But
yeah.
Any of these ones appeal to you?
It would be the gray Southern Pacific with the orange nose.
There you go. Yep.
Hands down. A pair of those would look sick.
Yep. That's a good point. Yeah. I think I've got, I'm looking at a Southern
Super bass on these, Eric.
What's that?
Are they doing super bass?
Yes. They're doing
Nicki Minaj feature, I call it.
Yeah. The super bass unit, which I think is pretty cool. It gives you a way to have a double header and saving a little money, not much. It's only $50 difference between the powered and the
well, and they have smoke units in them, which is nice. So
they have everything except motors, as far as I know.
These, I mean, because I got a pair of the CSX SD Max, and these legacy engines will pull anything you throw at them. Like you'd have to really stress them out at like a club layout to really need all the power. Yeah,
you don't usually need that stuff. So it's nice when you can. It's only $50 you're saving, but still $50 is $50.
Yep.
So these are all nice. I'd have a hard time choosing. That Southern Pacific on the lower left. I do like that a lot. But I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
I've seen a lot of posts. So the one on the upper, I guess on the upper right, it says SP. It's got the yellow hood.
Mm-hmm.
That I've seen that reposted so many times today. I don't even know what's with that scheme. Like I'm not. Do you have anything in that scheme?
I don't. I'm not sure when they did that paint scheme, but
so you don't even have anything in that scheme. Then that's one you're gonna have to get.
Maybe I will. And for those of you who don't know, the super base units, it's basically a non-powered unit that you can ride behind, or you can ride it with anything, but it's non-powered, as it doesn't have motors, but it has a sound system to give you some extra bass, extra oomph to your train, and it's got lights and a smoke unit and everything else. It just doesn't have any motors, they're really nice, and they've been doing them more and more in the recent catalogs with all their diesels. They've been doing a powered unit and then a super bass unit. So kind of cool. I kind of like it better than just a plain non-powered unit, because the non-powered units don't have lights or anything.
Yeah, no, and you're right, and it's it does make the engine. It makes the train thunder.
Yeah,
you're getting all those sounds. There was just a comment I have to acknowledge it because it was a super chat. So thank you for that. And it said cool. The whoop noise in the GES44 AC, which is a video I did a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
It makes this really cool like whip noise. So it's like whoop. You know what I'm talking about probably.
Which one?
It's in the ES44 AC, the Lionel. It sits there when it's idling or even when it's running, and it is the compressor building up for the air brakes. So I did not know that. So thank you for the fact.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know that either.
It's my favorite sound that they make. The MTH ones do not make that sound. Lionel does, and it's something about that sound. It is very prototypical, because I had a pair of them coming up on a bike trail I was riding 2 weekends ago, and they were just making this sound like left and right, and it just sounded so cool. And I was like, oh, my Lionel one does that. So there you go.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I see that super chat thing. Yeah. The whoop noise on the ES44. Very cool. Learn something new every day.
Yeah. Because I was referring it to like turbo or something, which is just me just making things up. Just getting excited about sounds. But
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't expert on what all makes locomotives work. I know the basics, but I have no idea what all the little detailed sounds are.
I learn something every time I make a video.
Yeah.
All right. So what's next? I think I saw Alcos.
Yeah, we got the FA2 AA sets. Good
Is
old.
that an Erie?
Yeah, that's an Erie on the bottom right, and then it's a Halloween set on the left, which is interesting.
Well, the Halloween set's really neat, but the Erie's it's like the ode to the post-war.
Yeah,
that was such a famous post-war set.
Yeah. Can't go wrong with that. That's a really nice looking set, and the Halloween set has spooky sounds. So I'd be interested to hear what those spooky sounds are.
Did you do the Halloween Camelback last year?
No, I did not.
That engine is really cool. It's got like the werewolf howl, and that's just, I mean, like it has more dialogue in it than any Lionel engine I've ever heard.
Oh wow!
Like every time, and it's actually my brother's engine, and every time he runs it for his for the kids, it says something I've never heard it say before.
Oh wow!
So it is impressive. So yeah, if you're looking for a holiday Halloween inspired train, I would definitely jump on them. These legacy ones, they sell out super fast, and they're hard to find on the secondary market. So if you're thinking about it, I would definitely pre-order it.
Yeah, it's always it can be really hard these days to find stuff on the secondary market with the built to order thing. A lot of times, if you don't order something, you end up regretting it, not being able to find it later.
Yeah.
I've got on my eBay account, I've got probably a dozen saved searches for various things that I'm looking for that I didn't get in the past that I wish I had, and just waiting for them to pop up one day, and maybe they will, maybe they won't, but always good to pre-order stuff. And they got a super base unit too, so you got the two powered units, I think, two powered units, and then a powered B unit and a super base B unit. So I guess altogether you can have an ABBA.
Well, there you go. You can pull the longest Halloween train you've ever seen with that.
There you go. I just need some Halloween cars. I've got one. I've got a Halloween. I've got a Halloween gondola that has a skeleton in it. I think that's the only Halloween car that I've got. So.
Oh, look at this! Look at that zoom action you were doing there.
I know it. Ooh.
Getting fancy.
I know it.
So yeah, these are. I think these will be good selling engines. I don't see the price. What is the price on these, Eric? I can't see it.
It's $1,100 for the AA set. It's a little pricey.
So we're coming up. This is even more than the last catalog where they had those AA sets for like $900. Okay, yeah. So everything's been adjusted. All right.
Yeah, it's interesting that you can get the Mogul for less money than the diesel set.
I'm telling you, I should add a sign saying Mogul.
You can get the Mikado for less than this thing. It's interesting. But there it is. I think they have some more on the next page. We got
there you go.
D&H, New York Central again. That's kind of a post-war callback, I think.
New York Central, that's my soft spot. I always like the New York Central stuff. But that Delaware and Hudson is just a beautiful set.
It is. I mean, these all look great. It's always so hard deciding. You're like, oh man, these all look great. I always like how the Pensy ones have the little antenna at the top that runs along the sides.
Yeah, and that thing, I will tell you, if you order that one, check it, because every time I buy a secondhand Pennsylvania engine that has those rails on the top, they're always broken.
They're so easy to break. I know exactly what you're talking about. I mean, I've accidentally broken many of those on passenger cars and so forth, and then I have to whip out the super glue and magnifying glass and trying to get it fixed again. So
I look like that guy from Toy Story, like trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Stephen Williams, super chat. Greetings from Chicago.
Hey, Steve. Right on. All right. So what do we got next? We got U.S. Marine Corps FA set, which is kind of cool. I think that reminds me of an older set, either post-war or MPC.
These really do. They have that vintage vibe. And I just saw Top Gun yesterday, so like I'm feeling.
The first one or the new one?
The new one.
Did you like it?
I mean, I loved it.
I thought it was great. I wanted
to stand up and cheer. So yeah, when I saw the military train here, I'm just like,
Yeah. I'm glad I ordered in the last catalog. I think it was I ordered the Air Force ES-44 that's got the.
Oh, you got that? Oh, that's gonna be great.
I'm really excited about that. But yeah,
it's gonna have the whoop sound in it. There we are.
Yep, there we go.
I hope it does.
The whoop sound. And they got a fuse to go with it.
BFMIO, right?
Yep.
BFIMO.
I'll have to say that for the next time when I review that ES-44. I'll say
best feature in RBP's opinion.
Yes. There we go. I'll see the woot sound. There it is.
All right, what's next?
They got some cool stuff. U.S. Army heavyweight.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Passenger cars. Those are cool too.
Similar to what Atlas put out. So we'll have to see what they look like compared to those. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. All right. Moving on, we've got the Heritage ST70s are back.
Well, there it is.
I know which one you want.
Wow, and they're doing all of them. Well, of course they would. So I just added the Southern Pacific one, an MTH PS2.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking now I should go after the rest of them. And now here they're doing all of them right here in front of my face.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Well, now I can fall out of my chair. I knew the Katie one was coming because people kept tagging me in it today. They're like, here you go, Chris. But I didn't know they were doing all of them. Wow.
That's really cool. I originally got all of the Heritage units in the from MTH years ago. I don't think I have any Lionel ones, unless I'm forgetting, which is quite possible. I don't think I have any of the Lionel ones, and I bet they sound really great.
Especially if they were all lashed up together.
Yes. I think I did a video years ago where I lashed all the Heritage MTH ones together. I could be wrong, but I think I did that at some point years ago. So
were you even able to use your smoke units, or did it just blow power?
I know I had to turn the smoke units off. You can't run anything extra when you do that. But yeah, these are cool. The Katie, that's probably my favorite Heritage unit as well. Just because I love those colors. It's just such a vibrant,
the bright red. It just pops right off the layout. Well, folks, the Mogul and these Heritage units.
Yeah.
That's my top two right now. Wow, these are all great.
Very cool. It's gonna be hard to decide which of these to get. But we'll see.
Well, how many Heritage units total? There's 2 on that page. And then there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you get 3, I get 3.
There we go. And we'll run them together. And then they got some veterans ones over here, and they got a C&O one, which is interesting.
That is cool.
It's kind of just sitting there. I don't know, kind of the odd one out, but any one of these would be fantastic. I'm sure they're all gonna be great. If I had to guess, that C&O one's probably won't sell a bunch of those, when you've got all these other ones next to it. But who knows?
Yeah, that Heritage fleet's going to sell big time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. Those
are always popular.
Oh yeah,
because not only are they really interesting from a color perspective, but they're real engines.
Exactly.
So it's not a fantasy scheme. Like you can see one of these things.
Yep.
Maybe next time they'll do all the NS Heritage engines.
Yeah, I think. Didn't they do that? Yeah, they did that a few years ago, and I wasn't able to get all of them because there's a ton.
There's way more of the NS Heritage.
Yeah, I think I got like a few of them, but I didn't get all the ones. So yeah, I hope they do the NS ones again. That way I can kind of fill in some of the gaps at some point. Very cool. And then we got the H1544.
Those are great.
Yeah, and everybody probably knows which one I'm looking at.
Yeah, I mean it's popping off the page right there.
Yeah. Any of these appeal to you?
At this point, I am still recovering from the UP Heritage I just saw. So we'll just look at that Central of Georgia with confidence that we'll be seeing that running around your lane.
This is probably on the definite list.
Legacy Station's already taken your pre-orders. Watching
they probably have. They're probably order like 30 of these things. So,
that's true. Yeah, they're gonna have extras. They'll be right.
Yep. these all look great, you know, and I'm sure they're going to have that Trainmaster sound. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I always like when they make these. You know, you see SD70s a lot in some of those others, but when they put out something that's different like this, you know, you have an opportunity where it might really have a unique sound to it.
It says it's a new product with new tooling, so I'm guessing this is probably XMTH. It might be a Rail King, a Rail King scale that they've upgraded. When we had our podcast with Matt and Matt, when we were talking to Ryan, he talked about how in the last catalog they have I forget what they are, the C something or other, and they're an Rail King scale, and what they did is they actually added some detail onto it to bring it up, you know, to be a premium model rather than just a lower end Rail King model. So I have a feeling that's probably what they've done here, is this might be a Rail King model that they're going to sort of upgrade and make nicer to make it a premium. So should be pretty cool. And we'll find out for sure when we do that podcast.
Saw some chatter in the chat about Rail King. So yeah, just to clarify for folks who might not know, so MTH had their Rail King line, which was semi-scale. You could run it on really compact layouts. But they also had Rail King scale. So they had scale proportions, but they didn't have some of the separately applied details that you'd see on a scale model. So yeah, I can, and if it is a legacy model, it's going to be 1/48 scale proportions. So it's at least a scale piece. So I saw some comments about, you know, these engines looked a little shorter.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be scale. Like you said, it's probably from the Rail King scale line, if I had to guess. And they have, I think I've got one. Hang on a second.
Well, we all know you have one. That's just where.
So this is a Rail King scale Stone Mountain. Oh, what is it? A GP9 or whatever it is, GP7.
Yes, you can see just by the size of it that it is.
Yeah, and it's scale. It's a Rail King scale, but I mean they look great. I mean, or more recently, there's
Well, for Christmas last year, I got my dad some MTH Rail King scale Western Maryland F units.
Yeah.
And aside from not having the see-through vents and stuff, they look, I mean, they're the same size as his scale ones that he has.
Oh yeah. Sure. Yeah. This is a new one that I haven't reviewed yet, but and that's a Rail King scale as well. So
oh, I like those. Yeah, that's I can't remember what they're called.
Is it that I got the box over here. I think it's the S2 or something like that. It's an Alco something or other. I can't remember.
Yeah, we snagged one of those at York in April.
Yeah. I mean, this thing is really cool. It's really heavy. I mean, it's got a metal frame, like a die-cast metal frame.
RS1. Thank you, Matt.
RS1. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and it's fantastic. So this is Rail King scale right here. And and from what I heard with Rail King, a lot of the Rail King scale stuff and the Imperial stuff was older Premier line stuff that they upgraded the Premier line model, and they would take the older, less detailed tooling and move it down to the Rail King line, and you would get a Rail King scale model that was really nice and really affordable, and pretty cool stuff. I'm gonna miss that's the, you know, Rail King was such a fantastic line for giving you a lot of bang for your buck. I mean, you could get these. I think these were under $400. I think they're like $359 or something.
Well, and even the steam engines were priced that way. So,
and
on my elevated lines, like I have these tight curves on the elevated lines, and if I run a Rail King semi-scale train, it looks so proportionally. I'm not going to say accurate, but when I'm doing like framing of my videos, you don't even really notice it's semi-scale because it looks like it's in the background. Like the scale one's running, so it's just a neat juxtaposition. Yeah,
I'm actually reviewing an XMTH Rail King model right now. This Amtrak Genesis. That's
Oh, that.
It's a LionChief Plus 2.0, but it's the X MTH. And if you look on the bottom, you can still see the MTH stickers.
Kind of like the Strasburg cars.
Yeah, yeah, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's Rail King quality, but now it's got Lionel sounds. So
yeah, those Amtrak engines have been very popular too.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of chatter about Amtrak in the chat tonight.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot too.
There's definitely a lot of buzz around Amtrak.
Yeah,
because you had the Acela, but that was like, whoa, that was super expensive. But then, those Genesis models and the passenger cars.
Yep,
really cool.
Very cool. So, yeah, this is exciting. It'll be cool to see what they do with it.
Where do we go from here? So I like these engines, but I'm still on the Mogul and the Heritage unit. Yeah. I want to see if something else wows me in this.
Okay, now we get
it's a Western Maryland set.
Yeah, there it is.
You got to be kidding me.
Hagerstown Hot Shot set. Is it Hagerstown or Hagerstown?
Hagerstown. Yep, Hagerstown. That's So I'm a Maryland guy. So now I'm all right. This is number 3 for me.
Yeah, you're Maryland. It's like central of Georgia for me.
Can you zoom in on that?
Yeah,
I got to see that bigger.
I like how they have 2.
Oh man, they even have the 2 different. Wow,
that's really cool.
Wow,
I like how they don't match.
Yeah,
and then they've got a boxcar, a piggyback,
and there's the caboose. Gosh, I've been looking for a caboose like that for forever.
Oops, what did I do?
It's all right.
Man, there we go.
I'm recovering.
Yeah, they got a hopper too. So that looks like a great set, and the price is $1,600, which is pretty pricey, but it's a nice set.
You factor in the fact that the two powered units were $1,100.
Yeah.
You have 1, 2, 3, 4 other cars. So yeah, and the cabooses have all gone up. Oh wow. All right, cool. So any Maryland or Western Maryland fans in the chat? There you go.
Where's Hagerstown? Is that near you or?
Yeah, so it's kind of like northwest of me.
Okay. I have no idea where anything is in Maryland.
Well,
in Baltimore and like DC and that whole area.
You come up sometime, I'll give you the tour.
There we go.
All that it has to offer. We're a tiny state compared to Georgia.
Yeah, Maryland's one of those ones that's kind of cut out in a weird shape. Yeah. Very cool. Are you from Maryland originally?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Cool. And then we got the Cumberland Valley Way Freight set. And the thing I like about this is that it's got the engine is a Pennsylvania L1S, but then it's got a flat car with a trolley on it, which
does the trolley operate? Could you pop it off the car and run it?
Let me see what it says. Yeah, it's the bump and go trolley.
Well, there you go.
Conventional operation, but yeah,
that's great.
I thought that was really interesting, and they got it has a Freight Sounds boxcar, and I don't know if the other car does anything or not, but yeah, got a Freight Sounds boxcar, and then you got the trolley on the flat car. So a very interesting set.
2 for 1 deal. You got a legacy engine and the classic bump and go trolley.
There you go. And does the Hagerstown set have a sound car or not? Let's see.
I bet it does.
Features. No, I don't think it does. I don't think the boxcar does.
What? Have to add one in.
Sad trombone. It's okay though. Very cool.
I'm still digging it. I'm still on board.
So, okay, here's my question. The Lionel voice control. Have you ever used that extensively?
I have not used. Okay, I used it one time, and it was just to like make my nephew's head explode. So, I'm like, go faster, and then the train started going faster, and like you could tell he didn't know what had just happened.
Yeah, that's the only way I've ever used it too. Is just as like a party trick.
I really would like one that where like you can just talk, like kind of like MTH used to have Protocast, and you talk into it.
Yep.
It'd be neat if I could like say something, then the train would repeat it. I think we'll get there.
Yeah, the Protocast was cool, and they also had that thing on the MTH where you could play music through the train. If you could plug a like an MP3 player up to it.
I used to do that all the time. I used to play. I had like when my daughters were really into the movie Trolls. I had the Trolls song like loaded into one of the engines. I think it was like the Blue Comet would play Trolls, and like the girls would dance as the train was going around.
It was great, and it'd be cool if Lionel ever had something like that. But I guess the MTH ones still have it if you have a TIU.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So important.
Yep. Okay, then we got some Heritage trailer on flat cars. For $150 each. Oh, these are Heritage ones.
Yeah, so they match all the other engines. There you go. You get all the engines and you match them up with these.
There we go. Very cool. I like the Katie one. That's the one to get.
Of course.
Yeah.
So that was the right answer there, Aaron.
we got 60-foot box cars with graffiti.
See, that's stuff for your layout. My layout can't handle those.
Is that because of the graffiti or what?
It's no. It's because of the size. So I have 72 curves, but those things are kind of a stretch on those. And then I need to redo my upper level because I actually can't get auto carriers or anything under my bridges.
Really?
So that's my winter project this year that'll be coming up, is taking my upper levels and pushing them up higher.
It always happens like that when you build a layout where you do something and then later on you run into some snag because of it. Like with my layout, it was the fact I built it for diesels, and then I started putting steam on it, and all of a sudden they wouldn't go through the tunnels because they were.
You go to the tunnel portal, like it just started like it's like kissing the wall.
Yeah, hit up
with the Dremel tool. Yeah.
So I had to widen all the tunnels and widen all the portals and everything, and so it's crazy. Yeah, these cars are really big. It's kind of like those Lionel auto carriers that they did a few years back. Those things they're like 2 feet long. I mean, they're gigantic.
When I went out to Michigan and hung out with Jason with JD Stux, he's got an endless number of those things. And I was like, I couldn't put these things on my layout if I tried. They're just stretching out the whole layout. I mean, oh, here he is. He's in the chat. He's like, auto carriers, you have my attention. There you go, Jason. Buy a Lionel piece for a change. There you go.
There we go. There it is. Very cool. I like the forward one though. That's kind of cool.
It fits your new car, and
yep. There we go. I got a cat meowing in the background.
I was going to say, that's what I thought I heard. Which one is that, Chessie or Frisco?
Chessie. I saw one of them came by here a moment ago, but I don't know where you went. And then we got our 100-ton hoppers.
But the hobo cars. All right, that's item number 4 for Chris.
Yeah.
The hobo cars are too cool.
I think that's going to be a really cool hit.
And they have 2 people in them this time, if I'm looking at it correctly. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Plays hobo camp dialogue. Yeah. It's always fun listening to the dialogue that Lionel does in these kind of cars, because you can tell that they had a ball recording the sounds, because they'll just do some hysterical stuff.
What was it, the kitchen car where he's like, come and get it?
Yeah.
They should go. Have you ever watched Hobo Shoestrings videos?
No. No.
All right, watch his videos. I don't even know if it's illegal what he does. He jumps on trains and puts it on YouTube. But they should record him talking.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So if they would do one to have him like as the celebrity voice, man, that would be something.
That would be really cool. All right, we got some N6B cabin cars, the fancy name for a caboose.
Those are pretty.
You like those?
I do. I'm short on cabooses. I always get yelled at for running steam engines with no cabooses. So I should probably just get cabooses.
It's funny. No matter how many cabooses I get, I never have the one I need at the moment. It's like this endless chase of like getting all the cabooses and you're like, okay, I've got like 30 cabooses for different railroads. And then I get something and I'm like, dang it, I don't have a caboose for this railroad. So I'm always having to add stuff. I've got lots of Pensy ones, but I don't have a Rock Island one, for example, or a Maine Central. So
my dad is the caboose collector. It's like, I should probably just next time I go over for a cookout, just grab some and take them home.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of people get upset if you don't have a caboose at the end of a steam train. I've heard many a hobbyist say, "I can't stand to see a steam train without a caboose at the end."
I am guilty. So yeah, next to my mogul sign should be my guilty sign, I guess. So.
There you go.
Anyway, yes, I'm glad to see all these different cabooses here.
Yeah, this yellow Pensy one is kind of neat. I've never seen a yellow Pensy caboose. I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but kind of cool.
Is the next page going to be heritage cabooses?
I don't know. Nope.
It's not.
Standard O insulated boxcar. This is just your basic boxcar.
Classic.
Got some good stuff. And then we got our standard unibody tank cars. Can't go wrong with those. I like the graffiti on this one.
Yeah. You could replicate like a Breaking Bad scene with this.
I know it. I need some Breaking Bad stuff in the catalog. Hopefully they won't run into any issues with the graffiti like they did with that Union Pacific genset. That was an upset.
That's right, because they ended up not producing.
Yeah, because UP got upset about it. They were like, "We don't want you putting graffiti on our locomotives," and so they couldn't do it.
I'm guessing that since they've cataloged these this way, that we're probably safe.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so we're out of scale. We are going into semi-scale.
Yep, there we go.
All right, folks. Well, there you saw it. So that was all the cool scale stuff. All right, give me your real quick before we go to semi-scale. What were your top 3?
Oh gosh, I'm
putting you on the spot. You can always change your
mind.
That.
I like that C&O Greenbrier. I like the Mogul, and and I liked the Challenger, although I don't know if I'll get one. Those are probably the top.
We all know 3. That's a lie. Where's my black and white filter when I need
it? Yeah. Yeah, and then probably my favorite thing in the whole catalog so far is that Western Pacific, that C&O Greenbrier. What about you?
So I'm going to say Mogul, and then I'm going to jump. I'm going to elevate the Western Maryland set. Now that I'm thinking about it, and then the UP Heritage units. But I got to see about that because I started the MTH collection on those. So where do we go? I don't know.
Yeah. It's always hard when you start a collection on one brand and then you're like, oh, now I got to switch to another one.
Right.
Lots of cool stuff though. I like it though.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about. So there's definitely something in here for any type of layout or any road name you're collecting. I mean, some of the road names I didn't see as much of in here, but that happens, right?
I don't think I saw any Frisco locomotives, which I'm still looking for. That I missed.
I feel like we don't see those as often as a lot of these,
Frisco was not quite as common as other ones.
I think even some folks in the chat were looking for Frisco.
Yeah. I don't think they had any.
Talk to your local Lionel dealer and get them to do a custom run.
There we go. Custom runs.
All right, so now we're going into LionChief territory.
Yep.
This is always exciting too. I like this stuff.
Oh yeah, and there's that Genesis with the 50
Operation Lifesavers. Yeah. All right, everyone's doing this year.
Yeah, Atlas has one.
A bunch of HO too came out with this scheme. It's been everywhere.
It's very popular, very popular. I think I might get the Atlas one at some point, but we'll see. But it's cool that they're doing it in LionChief. So we got
the Docksiders.
Very cool.
So those of you watching the stream who are not aware, this engine was cataloged and sold out faster than anything I think I've ever seen. Like, those Docksiders were super popular.
Yep. Very cool. I mean, they're small. You can run them anywhere. And they got LionChief Plus 2.0. I mean,
they fit right in your hand. I'm going to grab mine here.
Oh, you got one? I don't have one of those.
Like, this is how small this thing is.
Wow. That's cool.
I don't have, I'm a pretty small guy, but yeah, here's the, there it is.
It fits in your hand.
Now this one was $250. What is the price on the new ones?
$350.
Wow, so we've gone up $100. I will tell you that it's fully die cast, and it pulled over 30 scale freight cars. So
wow,
it's a tough little guy.
That's awesome. I might have to pick one of these up. I don't have a Docksider yet.
Well, they're a lot of fun too, because you can just kind of throw it on the layout and take it off whenever you want. And
yeah.
I mean,
don't have to worry about lining all the wheels up and all that kind of stuff. Just throw it on there.
Right.
Very cool. Any one of these appeal to you?
What's the one with the red roof?
That's the Alaska. That's the one I was looking at.
Yeah, because I have one that's it's traditionally all black die cast. Something that with some color would be really neat.
Yeah. Very cool. It's crazy that they brought the price up from $250 to $350, but at least it's like you said, it's die cast metal. So
right, there's no plastic on this thing at all. I mean, it is, and it's heavy.
Yeah. And then we got the NW2s. I wonder if these are ex-Rail King or not. Maybe. Oh, it says all new products, and I don't know. I'm always a sucker for a switcher. I love switchers, just because they're fun to run. They're small. You can run them anywhere. So I like that Seaboard one down there. That's the one I got my eye on.
Yeah, that one actually would be. Yeah, again, it's that red. The red's always making it pop off the layout. Oh, real quick, Real Toy Trains. He donated $1 towards the Challenger Fund. He said.
Oh, sweet. Thank you, thank you, Real Toy Trains. Yeah, red. I mean, that's why I like in the Eric's Trains ES44 that's coming out later this year. Red was a big ingredient in that because I love it. It was kind of inspired by that Katie SD70 and stuff, just because I love red and white and it just pops so nicely.
Oh yeah.
So anytime I see red, I think from the last catalog I ordered the I think it was I don't know. No, it wasn't a Berkshire. It was it was a black and red steam engine. I can't remember what it is now. It's a Santa Fe and it's a black and red, and I can't remember. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember what it is. Somebody will say what it is.
Was it the black bonnet colors?
Black bonnet, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And it was
now you're speaking my language.
I was excited about that because I ordered it because I regretted not ordering the Santa Fe Valley Flyer 210-2, whatever it is.
Yeah, those were cool. Oh yeah.
I was so pissed at myself for not ordering because when I finally saw it, I was like, "Oh, this thing looks awesome! Why did I get just the black one?" And so when that next catalog came out, I said, "Okay, I'm not getting the black one. I'm getting the black bonnet." So
the black bonnets, yeah, and they're super glossy. So it's like one of those engines that they're kind of annoying to handle, but they are really pretty.
Yeah, black bonnet 210-4. That's what it is.
That's right, because they did the black bonnet Northern, but that was like a Pat's Trains thing, and then they did the 210-10-2, and then yes, the one you have.
Yep.
Got another super chat. The yellow PRR is a maintenance away. Thank you. Double tube fan 5.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, so that's the first page of engines. What is next?
Okay, let's see what we got. Now we got a set. We got the Santa Fe Auto Rack set, which looks pretty cool. Now this is just LionChief, I think.
This feels like modern day MP. That Santa Fe with the auto racks, it feels like modern day MPC.
Yeah, that's what it.
And I'm loving it.
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good comparison. That's a good comparison.
So there you go. There's a huge group of hobbyists that do MPC era.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you want modern, but you want to stay within the confines of what you built, this is probably pretty compelling.
Yeah. I love MPC era stuff. They did some really cool stuff. Like in the 70s, they did some really neat stuff. And I think it kind of took, it's grown over time, people's appreciation of it, I think. They had some great stuff in the 70s.
Well, and it continues to be the most affordable era to collect too.
Oh yeah, because
which is
it's
nice.
it's this nice little area where you can get them for nothing. Not nothing, but really. I mean, I got an MPC era GG1 that was exactly like the post-war one, die-cast metal and everything. And I got it, and it had the receipt still in the box. It was practically brand new in box, and I think I paid like $100 for it or something crazy.
And that's exactly why they're so popular.
Yeah, yeah. If you're looking for affordable collectible trains, MPC is the way to go. You got to be a little careful. I mean, some of this MPC stuff is really cheap.
Well, yeah,
but
like MPC starter sets can be kind of dicey. But yeah, do a little research before you go. That's what I would. Yeah, definitely want to do that.
I mean, I think they had some stuff with like plastic wheels at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple things that it's not going to pull anything, but there's plenty of them that will.
Yeah,
especially if they were based on the post-war tooling. Another super chat, Eric. CNJ Railroad, $5.
Oh, there he is. Thank you, CNJ Railroad. Thank you for your support. My favorite MPC feature is when they did that Mighty Sounds of Steam with the static.
Yes. Well, of course, yeah.
It's just hilarious. They're just like, okay, let's just do alternating static sounds. Just build
and then the whistle. It's like,
yeah.
Sounds like a Sonic 2, like when you're running through like the special stage or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's great, and it's one of those things where it's like they didn't have digital sounds yet, but they wanted to do something, so you got Mighty Sounds of Steam. So yeah, that's a cool little set, and they got some buildings here too.
This looks like Christmas present for my nephew.
Yeah.
All right, we got some fun boxcars on the next page.
Yeah, we got some.
I pulled it up on my computer now, so I'm following along.
Oh, there we go. We got the milk cars, and
okay. Look at the bazooka bubblegum. There you go. That's got.
I like that.
That's different.
Yeah. I haven't seen bazooka gum. I mean, when I was a kid, we used to have it, but like a little kid. But like I haven't seen it in years, so it's kind of cool they have this.
I've seen some really interesting collections where sometimes I kind of gloss over these things, but I was at Scott Griggs, who owns trains.com, and I was in his basement, and he has all of those types of cars like wrapped around on the top. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like as soon as I saw this bazooka car, I thought of him.
Yeah, I mean, there's some people who that's what they collect is these types of box cars. I forget what they're 9400 series or something. I forget what they're called, but this series of box car, and you can collect them going all the way back to the post-war period. Some of them are really rare. Some of them are not, but they did like they have the presidential ones that they did in recent years. Right. They did in the MPC era. They did, I think they did like a 50 states one or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, I see that set a lot. It comes up for sale a lot too.
So they've put about. I mean, these cars kind of remind me of. I also collect Zippo lighters, and like, there's no way you could ever have every Zippo made because they put like 80 gajillion images on them. I mean, it's just a canvas for whatever they want to put on them, and so you could collect Zippos for 50 years and not have every one. And these are kind of like that, where it's just a blank canvas, and they've just been putting stuff on these cars since the end of World War II.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
So very cool. And we got some personalized ones. I guess you can do it on their site. You can go personalize it. I don't know.
Yeah, I've done that. I got that. I did that for my dad a couple years ago.
You did?
Yeah. We put like my daughter's names on it and did a custom message. It is actually the fastest shipping Lionel engine I've ever gotten. I ordered it, and it was there in like 2 weeks.
Wow. Was it a car or an engine?
It was a box car.
Okay.
It was a Polar Express themed box car. You can still buy these. You go on their website, and you type a message, you put the names on, you lay out where you want it. It's really easy to use. You just order it right there, and then they ship it to you.
I haven't done that yet. At some point,
and they have all kinds. Like if you have a baby, they have them. If you're in the military or for any special occasion.
Oh, we got 2 more super chats. We got Red Line Overload Productions, who says in the early 90s, both Amtrak and Santa Fe bought C44 8Ws. The C designates 6 wheels. Okay. And then we got another one from Double Tube Fan 5.
We're getting all kinds of great information. We need to start hanging out with all these people so that they can tell us what trains we have. It is always fascinating, like to know that there's all these designations for the way the wheels are laid out, and just so much information out there. So thank you all very much.
Cool, very cool. All right, moving on. We've got our death.
So this for the Halloween stuff?
Yeah, I guess so. You know, if they made these in real life, if they put those in front of train crossings, they'd probably have less accidents at train crossings. I think they should do that.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Oh, wow, look at that MTH station that's now in the Lionel catalog.
Oh, yeah, look at that. Very cool. I think this is the top one an MTH station too, or
I don't know my MTH trivia well enough for that, but I definitely know the bottom one is because I traded my dad my little MTH station for his big one. Yeah, when I built the layout.
I've got one of these. It's a custom run that Legacy Station did. It's a great little station. Yeah, that's cool. And I think this little diner up here might be an MTH thing too. I'm not sure. Maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. No, it doesn't say new tooling, but it does say new tooling down below. And it says new tooling for that death crossing thing too.
Well, that's definitely new. I've never seen that before. And the fact that it comes, like the crossing is built into it, that's really neat.
Yeah, and I don't. Siren activates when train comes through. Arrows indicate direction of the train is approaching. That's pretty cool.
That'll look cool with I got an Area 51 set. That might be kind of fun to run through that.
Yeah.
Halloween.
I don't remember MTH having anything like this, so maybe this is brand new for them.
I feel like Lionel's gotten pretty creative with their accessories in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Like they had a lot on display at York.
Oh, is this based on a real thing? Look at that. There's a picture. Yeah, something about they did these in Mississippi.
So you're right.
Yeah, look at that. They actually did them. Wow.
Well, there you go, folks. So prototypical.
There you go.
Interesting.
That's kind of cool. I like that. We got a little ice cream shop here and some road signs. There's a mosquito sign. I like that. And we have caution flying cows.
Does that say Nana's She Shed?
Yeah, it does. They got a she shed.
There we go. I get my mom a train related item for Christmas this year.
I should get this one for my my girlfriend's sister. She has a she shed that looks kind of like that at their place. I should get that for her. It has special sounds. Simulated sounds on a timed loop. Okay. And we got the toy shop. This is pretty cool. They got some neat stuff.
Yeah, I feel like again it's kind of paying that homage to the post-war era where these are more whimsical type things.
Yep.
Never known Lionel to be like a prototypical accessory company, but they definitely nail it on interactive.
Yeah.
And these newsstands that have been out forever.
Yeah. Very cool. Carnival treat stand, got that little dog that goes around. That's a classic fake news. That's pretty funny. I gotta say that's pretty funny. They got lots of fun stuff here. And then we got our Transformers and we got the American Flyer stuff. I really can't comment on American Flyer other than
right.
I have some S gauge tracks somewhere around here, but I don't have any American Flyer stuff to run on it.
There you go. So if you're American Flyer folks, that American Flyer collectors, there you go. These last couple pages will.
Yep. I don't know. I think there's like 8 American Flyer people in the whole country. I don't know. I don't know anybody who does American Flyer still. Although I guess somebody does.
Scale you do not hear about as much, and I know that it just came up. I was watching another live stream someone was doing, and someone asked about S gauge, and I kind of feel bad because it's becoming it's becoming harder to get new stuff in S gauge.
Yeah. MTH was doing it right before for a little while, but then I don't think it's going on anymore. I think they bought S Helper, and they got the gold bonnet though. That's kind of cool. That's one of those sets that I wish I had gotten when Lionel cataloged the O scale gold bonnet, and I never did. And I'm like, eh. So,
Rambles, Tony, thank you for the super chat.
Awesome. Got lots of super chats going on. Thank you guys. And we got some auto racks, and these are all just semi-scale, you know.
There you go. You can make that super long auto rack train.
Yeah. Kind of MPC era looking stuff. And I think that's it.
There we make it to the end.
Oh, they got some HO. Was there? I guess that's all the HO there is.
For now, I bet they'll put more in the. They typically do that in their Volume 1 catalogs, right?
Yeah, or sometimes they come out with a separate HO catalog.
That's true. Maybe we look out for that.
Stay tuned for HO product releases. Yeah, so I think this is the same set that I reviewed a few years ago, the Canyon Flyer. They just keep rebadging it as other stuff. But yeah. So what do you think of the catalog overall?
So I'm actually glad that I didn't look at it too much beforehand, because I feel like it's going through it and kind of seeing a lot of these pieces. I do think we're going to see a lot of interesting sets popping up next year when they start shipping. Like, yeah, I am happy that they kept some of the cool fantasy schemes. The 49er was a big seller for them. Mm-hmm. Whether people loved it or hated it, it sold well. And I really think they took the success of their pacemaker Mohawk, and they said, let's try it on this Greenbrier, and it's going to work. I know it will. And
yeah, I think I'm excited about that one.
And the Heritage Fleet was just really brilliant. The fact that they did all of them, like sometimes I've seen them do one or two, but like the fact that they put all of them in there. So, yeah. And then of course the fact that they gave us big steam, but they also gave us high-end legacy steam that can navigate any type of layout.
Yeah, I like that.
In my opinion, I think the catalog is really, really well balanced. I like it a lot.
Yep, I think so too.
And the Docksiders came back because everybody loved the Docksiders.
Yep. Yeah,
that was the other big thing.
I was telling somebody, and I don't know who it was, but maybe it was you. I can't remember. But I think when they went to the build to order scheme a few years ago, I don't know how many years it was now, but when they switched to the build to order scheme, I think that gave them a lot of freedom to do a lot of different paint schemes. Like the Heritage, they can do all of them because, if they don't get orders for some of them, they just won't make them, and that way they can do as many road names as they want. And if nobody orders it, all they did was waste some paper in the catalog.
Right.
I think that allows them, gives them a lot of freedom to do some more experimental and fantasy paint schemes that, back in the day when they actually made everything in the catalog, they probably wouldn't have been willing to take that gamble and say, well, let's do all the Heritage ones just in case someone wants to buy all of them at once, and
right.
Now they can. So fun stuff.
Absolutely.
Yep. So I guess we can want to take some questions for a few minutes and then call it a day.
Over to the Q&A. Oh, here you go. Crashton, what are your top 5 favorite pieces of the catalog?
There we go.
So we touched on that a little bit earlier, but Eric, go ahead. Kick it off. What's your top 5?
My top, that's always hard.
Well, okay. Maybe you don't even have to rank them. You can just say the 5 that.
Yeah, I'll just say the 5 things that come to my mind. The Challenger, obviously, I think is pretty cool. Don't know if I'll get one because I've already got 3 Challengers, but I think it's cool. The brass hybrid is going to be cool. I think I love the C&O Greenbrier, the chessy looking one here. I think that's really going to be. I think that's really cool. Oops. I like the Mogul. Where did that go?
That was I think it was right after that. There you are.
Yeah, I really like the Mogul 89. I think that's going to be a big hit. Darn it. I'm like
zoom.
I'm like having a problem here. So yeah, I like the Moguls, and then going over to the diesels. I kind of like that Hagerstown set. I think that's really cool, actually, because I like the mismatched diesels.
You're going to have to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring some Maryland to your life down there in Georgia.
Yep. And I like the what am I at 4 now? And then I like the Heritage, but I probably the diesel I'm definitely going to get is the Central of Georgia H1544.
Yep.
Those are probably my top 5 in no particular order. What about you?
Yeah. So top 5 on mine, and I'm going to kind of split it between engines and some other things. So the Mogul and the Western Maryland set, you don't have to bounce around, but Mogul, Western Maryland set, and what was the third one I had earlier on my mind? Oh, the Heritage units, but we're going to see about that. But the Hobo boxcar, 100%, and probably another caboose. That's my top 5.
Right on.
Check out the Hobo boxcars. If anybody missed that part of the stream, definitely look at those. Those are going to be really neat.
I think I ordered one in the last catalog. I think they had it in the last catalog.
Those have not arrived yet, though, right?
No.
Okay. So we're still waiting on those.
Yep. Let's see here. There's some S-scale questions, but I really can't speak to those because I don't know much about S-scale at all.
Yeah, it's I get a lot of questions about HO scale too, and I'm always wishing I knew more. It's just Pandora's box.
Yeah. Is there a ship date for the Eric's Trains ES44? There's not an exact ship date yet. It's supposed to come the latter quarter of this year, so somewhere between October and December is when it's slated to arrive. Lionel's been doing it, like we said earlier. Lionel's been doing a pretty good job of shipping stuff in a timely fashion. So right now, I'm optimistic that it'll actually arrive on time. That's going to be super exciting when that happens. Although my hand's going to be really tired because I'm gonna. A lot of people asked if I would sign the box, which I thought was I kind of.
You're going to have to do that. Yeah.
What's that?
You're going to have to do that.
Yeah, and so I decided I'm just going to sign every box, and I'll probably put a Eric's Train sticker in the box too, and so I'm going to have to sign my name like 150 times.
On one of them, sign the shipper too, and then 100 years from now, it'd be like, one of these had the signature on the shipper as well as the actual box.
Yep. I'll put on the number one of them. I'll put number 1 of 150.
That's right. You just do that little tiny thing that makes it.
Yeah.
And then we need to lash up your engine with the Katie. There we go.
Yeah. There we go. It would pair nicely with the Katie. I think it would.
Oh, it would 100%. Well, it's a very neutral engine. It could pair with anything.
Yep.
Red and white.
Is Chris gonna order some massive articulating engines for a new video?
I'm taking donations.
That's what I always say when oh, you can show it. Okay, that's cool. That's what every now and then I'll get a comment on a video where someone says, you should review this engine, or you should run it with these cars. And I say, you buy them for me and I'll review them.
100%. Always happy to do it that way.
Deal. All right.
So there was a question about what would we like to see them make, except for the triplex, right? Is that the question that was just up?
Yeah.
So yeah, you want the triplex. I want a Dreyfuss Hudson.
Yep. I think Lionel, they've done it. They've done a Dreyfuss before, I think.
It's been a long time.
I've got this one over here. Hang on a minute.
Is that like Smithsonian?
No, it's
This is great. I think we've caused Eric to get up and search for engines at least 5 times.
I know where this one is. So I've got this one that they made.
So that's Empire State Express.
Empire State Express. And I've got an MTH Dreyfuss Hudson.
Yeah. So, and that's the same thing with me. So I have the Lionel Empire State Express. It's one of my favorite engines I own.
Yeah.
But I really would love to see them remake that Dreyfuss Hudson like they did back in the 90s. And
I think, they can't. I think they have the tooling, so there's no reason they couldn't. And I'd like to see that because it's also a classic from the post-war period. They did a gray Dreyfuss Hudson in the post-war period. It was a semi-scale, and so I always like it when they do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's always been such a huge the Hudson in general has always been a huge engine for Lionel.
Yep. So I always like it when they do a modern version, and especially a Vision Line version of some classic from the post-war.
Oh,
like
yes.
when they did the GG1, the Vision GG1, and the Vision 700E.
Yes.
I've always wanted to see like a Vision Line Santa Fe Super Chief set or something. I think that would be really cool. But like die cast metal,
and they could bring back like the spinning fans like they did on the
Yeah,
Outlaws back
yeah.
in like the early 2000s. Yeah. So there we
Maybe
go.
a Santa
All
Fe
kinds of
F3
things.
set. That'd be real, like an ABBA with passenger cars, and have it be die cast metal everything. Be great.
Yeah, that would be insane.
Let's see here. So apparently I can let's see here. I can show the question in the thing. What would be the best Lionel train control? Should I wait on reviews on the new system? I currently run MTH DCS. So what do you think about that?
That question's always hard to answer because we're so limited in what we could get, right? Like, as much as, and this statement may be a bit controversial, but I would be hesitant to purchase a legacy base right now, especially at the elevated prices that they're being sold for. A legacy base and remote is going to run you about $1,100 to $1,200 right now, eBay on the secondary market.
Holy cow.
And in my opinion, it's kind of like buying like an Acer Aspire computer, with a Celeron processor in it. Like, and I say that because you're buying something that may not be supportable. So if you buy it and something happens to it, you're kind of out. Whereas a lot of folks I know, they're using the LionChief app. It's not the greatest experience on the legacy models. I get it, 100%. But you can get them out of the box, get them running. And then when the new base comes out, if you prefer that tactile remote, you can order Cab 1L. So you're going to get something to hold in your hand to do what you're, to do all the conventional type of, all the command control that you're used to.
Yeah.
And then you'll have the app for all the advanced features. So that's my long-winded answer. I would agree about buying the 990s right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would stick with the app for the time being, and then wait for the base 3 to come out.
Yeah.
I think the app, I think the app with the base 3 is going to be a lot better than what they have on the phone now. So yeah, that's what I would agree with that.
Yeah. And I think, if you have iPads are easy to come by, tablets in general are easy to come by. So you set it so it doesn't sleep. If using it on a phone is tough because you get a phone call while you're running your train, and next thing you know, the train is crashing, right? Yeah. I think most of us have a tablet of some kind sitting around, and you just keep it in your train room, and that's going to be your controller. And it's a learning curve. I'm with everybody here. I love the remote.
Yeah.
But
yeah, sometimes I'm like, well, maybe I just like the remote because I'm old or something. But I think a lot of people like having the dedicated remote. But like you said, if you take an old phone or an old tablet, that gives you, that way you're not getting phone calls while you're running your trains and stuff. So,
and that's what I did with my MTH DCS app. Was I took an iPad that I had and I just dedicated it to it, and it works so well. And I have the DCS remote as well, but I'm kind of good with using either one. It took me a while to get used to the app at first, and then as I got more comfortable with it, it was like anything else. It was like going from the TMCC remote to the Legacy remote. It's like, what are all these extra things?
Yeah. All right, let's see here. Let's see if there's any other questions coming in. Someone says, oh wait, that disappeared. I'm brand new to O-Scale. I pre-ordered the new Cab 3 base, and I'm not sure how to power. What are your thoughts? Well, the Cab 3 doesn't power your layout.
Right.
You still have to have a power supply behind it. If you're just going to use the base 3, and you're just going to use digital command controlled units, engines, I would just get the in fact, it's in the catalog here, way in the back somewhere.
It's right before the American Flyer section.
Yeah, I would just get the Powerhouse 180 and run your layout on that.
Yep.
Because that you could get one of these, but you really, with legacy and stuff like that, you don't really need the throttle. All you need is the power.
Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend.
And I agree. It's going to have more power than you're going to need. And I use variable voltage transformers, but that's because I run a lot of post-war and MPC stuff. And
Yeah.
but you can also run those variable voltage with the power brick, but we're not going to, that's a whole, a whole can of worms there. But yeah, I agree. The power brick is the easiest way to get up and running with clean power.
Yeah. I mean, but yeah, it depends on your needs. If you're planning on running some older stuff, yeah, you might want to get one of these. Like a C to us. Well, like this one, the GW 180, where you got 180 watts, but you've also got a throttle control for it. So, I think at least, yeah. Throttle lever.
And I made a little layout for my nephew, and we use the CW, and it works great. And we run legacy engines and LionChief engines and old engines, and it just works. It has plenty of power. Like if your layout is taking up your basement, you might want to go bigger, right? But that's just because you just need extra wattage.
Yeah. But just for just for a regular layout though, just CW80 will do fine. That's the cheapest option. And then, like I said, the cleanest option is to do the powerhouse, but either one of those will work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Will Lionel bring out some M1s? Are you talking about the Chessie? Is that what he's talking about? Like the C&O M1?
Or the Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania does the Spencer, are you talking about the PRR M1 steam engines?
Which
so they did, and again, I know the PRR because a good friend of mine, he's loves the PRR and he loves his M1s. So if that's what he's talking about, who knows? It's been probably almost 20 years since they did an M1. They did have a legacy one.
Like they did an M1A a little maybe in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I think it was an early legacy model.
Yeah. If he's talking about the Chessie M1.
Oh, he is. The Chesapeake in Ohio. There you go.
Yeah, that was an MTH model. I don't know if Lionel bought that tooling or not. I hope they did. It'd be really cool if they did. So I don't know.
You had it right. Chessie.
Eric, where is your review on the Lionel Vision Line GS Northerns? Talking about like the Southern Pacific GS series.
Did you do one on those?
No, I didn't. It's coming, but the reason I haven't done it.
Get called out, man.
Yeah. People always ask about that one, and it's like the reason I haven't done it is this may sound stupid, but like I've got 4 of them, and
that's right. You got like the whole line, yeah.
And so I wanted to do a review where I run all 4 of them, but doing a review on all 4 of them at once is taking a while. And also in the back of my mind, I kind of wanted to get another one just because I wanted to get like a GS5 or something like that, just to be even more ridiculous. So like that's why it's been taking a while. The Acela review will come out before that one does, but that'll probably be sometime this year. I just don't know when it will be. I filmed about 30% of it and I just haven't finished it yet.
Oh yeah, when you have that many engines, it takes a while to like just recording the engines running around for B-roll takes half the time, right?
Yeah. I mean, that takes up a lot of the time.
Yeah,
and it always stuff always breaks while you're filming it, and you always have, at least for me, it's like you always run into problems, when you're doing the B-roll footage and trying to get the running session and stuff like that. So it's always more trouble. Takes longer than you think, and especially running 4 of them at once.
Yep.
There was a scene I did a July 4th video where I was running some trains, and at the end I did the thing where I had 4 trains come together on the same scene, and it took like 30 minutes or maybe more. It took like maybe 45 minutes or so to get it that as good as, and it wasn't perfect. I wasn't super happy with it, but it took that long to get them all to sync up to cross cross at the same time.
Like I can, gosh, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. Like when you're waiting for them to pass and then one of them doesn't pass or
one
in
of
my
them
case,
derails
like
somewhere or whatever, and you're just like, dang it, I
and it
almost
always
had it.
happens. It'd be one thing if I could catch the bloopers on my camera, but it's always facing towards the shot, and then the derailment happens on the other side of the layout, and I'm just hearing like a clapping sound or something.
Yeah. So it takes a while to get the shots right sometimes, but yeah, they'll be out at some point. The Acela is the one I'm working on now. I had to replace a pantograph on one of the units because I broke. I accidentally broke one of the pantographs. So the lesson there is be very careful when handling the Acela.
Well, that's your video title, Handle with Care.
Yes. And so I had to order a replacement pantograph from Lionel. Fortunately, they don't have any ones for the new Acela, but they have ones for the previous Acela, and it's the same. And I emailed Lionel and I said, "Is this the same part? Did it change at all?" And they said, "No, it's the same one."
It is the same. I can tell you.
Yeah. So I ordered one of the replacement pantographs, and I actually got it installed yesterday, and actually didn't do any damage. It actually works perfectly now. So
go.
Yeah.
It's not an easy part to install. That's a fickle little thing.
The whole Acela is fickle.
It is.
It's a very
real quick. I did see somebody brought up the point of some of the YouTube community meeting up. So I figured before we lose any more folks here towards the end of the stream, we could make our York announcement. So that's cool.
Yeah.
So for those of you that are going to York this fall, or who are considering going to York this fall, York is the big train show. It happens in York, Pennsylvania. And we're actually going to be doing an event on Saturday. This is very different from what York has done in the past. The show is going to be the same as it always has been. Lots of trains for sale, vendors there, meeting, all that great stuff. But Eric and I are going to be part of an event on Saturday morning, and we'll put dates out. We'll publish more information on this. And it's going to be a really fun event. It's going to go from 9:30 to 11:30 on Saturday morning of the York show this October. And it's going to start with some really fun guests. We're going to have Norm Charbonneau there who does his layout out in Chicago. So if you've ever seen an O-gauge layout that looks real, it's probably his. And then the second part of the event is going to be Eric and myself and Jason Stuckert from JD Stucks.
Yep.
We're going to be spending an hour or so with everybody, doing some Q&A, talking about what's going on with the hobby, talking about YouTube, just some fun meet and greet type stuff. And then we're going to wrap it up with Lionel, and they're going to be doing a demonstration of the Cab 3, assuming everything's ready to go. And when I say demonstration, this is hands-on. So we're going to get to ask questions, get to spend some time with those folks. And again, that'll be on Saturday morning. So that will be an event this fall, October, the York Show in York, Pennsylvania.
That should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a fun day.
So.
And that answers that question about YouTube people getting together. That's what that's all about.
Exactly. Yep. So there'll be a lot of folks there that have channels, and it's always a good time.
Yep. York is if you've never been to York, try to go. It's a great time if you love trains. I remember the first time I went, and I had heard all about it for years, and I went, and no matter how into trains you are and how many trains you've seen and this and that, or how big your collection might be, when you go to York, I mean, you're like a kid in a candy shop. I mean, it's a little overwhelming at first, just how much there is. You're just like, I mean, you're just kind of sitting there with your mouth open, just looking all over it. It's really fun. It's a great place.
Yeah. So recommend everybody come out. I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Someone asked for a date on my open house this year. I don't have a date yet. It'll probably be in November, but I don't have the date yet. I don't organize the open house. It's not just me. There's a NMRA chapter here that does a tour of open houses in the area, and so they assign me a date. So that's why I don't know the date yet. I'll probably know sometime in the next few weeks. I'm trying to get the weekend before Thanksgiving. That's usually what I try to get. That's my favorite weekend to do, but we'll see what happens. Let's see. Any other questions? Do a few more questions and then we'll wrap it up. Will the York event be online as well as live? Good question.
Right now, no, just because I don't have the technology to pull that off. But we'll see. If enough people are looking for it, and if there's, if we think there'll be attendance on it, we'll work on making that happen. I don't want anyone to be restricted because you live far away, or maybe you can't get to the show. It would be kind of fun if we could have an interactive stream. It might be more like this, more just a live stream event.
Yeah, I'd be happy to stream it or something, but we'd have to make sure it's okay with the York guys. I don't know how they feel about that because they want to encourage people to come there. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But that's a good question, Frank. We'll take that back, and I'll talk to the TCA about that.
Yep. Are you guys going to the North Platte Rail Days this year? I know I'm not. I don't have time to go out there.
I will not be there either, but I bet it'll be fun.
Yeah, I've never been. What are the? I don't even know what I've heard of it, but I don't really know what they do. I mean, I assume is it somewhere having to do with the UP's North Platte yard and stuff like that? I don't know what exactly. Do you know what they do there?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. I've heard of it. I just don't know anything about it. Oh, oops. Someone says, will Lionel do another Acela run? Well, they just did it. So probably not for a while.
Well, the good news is I still see a lot of those sets in stock.
Yeah.
So if, Gino, if you're looking for one, there's still your opportunity is everywhere right now. There's still plenty of them out there. I think the only one that has sold out, and I've seen some of them popping up on eBay already. It would be the Polar Express version, but like the actual prototypical Acela and the concept Acela, I think there's still those out there.
Yeah. That's an expensive set, but yeah, you can still get them. I run Lionel TMCC and want to get a DCS Explorer. I don't know if you can get it to work with Lionel TMCC. I run a power brick and I don't want to change the wiring. Can I run MTH DCS Explorer? You can run MTH DCS Explorer, but I personally, I would not try to run it with, you can run it alongside Lionel. It'll work alongside it. You just can't run it with TMCC. Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, I don't think I've messed with DCS Explorer.
It's basically just I have one in my garage on my workbench. It's basically just like a sort of an abbreviated version of DCS.
Okay.
I think, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I've only ever used like DCS, and I've used the little that little remote with like the IR receiver.
Yeah.
Starter sets.
But
yeah. DCS Explorer was like the middle. It was like the middle product, right, between those.
Yeah, it's a little box that you get, and then you I think you use the app with it. If I'm remembering correctly, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but you use the app and you have this little gray Explorer box. It's kind of like a TIU, but it's a little smaller, and it's you can run it alongside TMCC. You won't have any issues. Just connect it to the track. I think the power has to go through it. So your powerhouse would go into the DCS Explorer, out of the DCS Explorer, and then to your. Oh, wait a minute. The power go into the DCS Explorer, out of the DCS Explorer, and into the track, and then you would connect TMCC to the track. But yeah, you can use them together. On my layout, I used DCS and Legacy together.
So you answered it without a whiteboard, Eric. Well done.
Yeah, I used the Air whiteboard.
The event for York, rolling back, someone asked where it's going to be. Orange Hall. So if you're familiar with York, we'll be in the Orange Hall for that event.
Yep. Let's see here. Crashton says thank you. What? Okay. Oops. It's hard to click on these because they move by so fast. Oh, almost had it.
You're navigating with grace. You're good.
Yes. What is the most meaningful engine you guys have? One that you won't give away no matter what. So you want to answer that?
This is a post-war 675. Typically, someone would look at this engine and it just would blend in the corner of a hobby shop somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason this one is meaningful is that my neighbor Sam, who's 82 years old, me and him chat all the time. We were out just chatting in the backyard, and I brought up trains. He's like, "I have a train. I got it when I was a kid." So I ended up buying this train off of him and had it restored. And this is the only post-war or vintage train that I own that I know who the original owner was.
Wow.
That's why it's meaningful. I have a ton of vintage trains in my collection, but I don't know how many people's hands they went through before they came to mine, But this one was given to him on Christmas a very long time ago when he was just a little boy. So
that's really cool. That's
the most meaningful engine in my collection.
Yeah. Probably for me, probably the one, I mean, I guess, gosh, probably one of the most meaningful ones is probably going to be the Vision Line GE Evolution Hybrid ES44.
And why?
Well, for one thing, I mean, it was just, for one thing, it really helped launch my channel. Because that review was what sort of got my channel going. Before that, I was just putting some random videos up and not really doing much. And then I reviewed that, and that got so it was really important for the channel. And also it was just such a special engine to get. I mean, when it came out, it just blew my mind away. It was just such a fantastic engine, and it still is. And it's a pity that they can't make them the die-cast ES4s any ES44s anymore. And so it's really, I wish they could. Wish they could reissue those, but they can't. And so to me, that's kind of my holy grail engine. It's just, I've always loved that thing, and it was just, it was special to this layout and to the channel, and it's always been like that. So yeah. Although I could probably pick several that are, some of them are like, there's one that I have. It's right behind the computer. If I can grab it.
Well, while you're finding that, so that video was actually just shared in a Discord chat the other night.
Oh, really?
I was on. Yeah. They were talking about that engine. They were talking about diecast. They're like, "Well, here, Eric did the review. Here, check it out." And there was the video popping up.
It still gets a lot of views. I cringe when I watch it because I'm, I was so. I'd like to think I'm a little better at doing the reviews now, but like when I watch that, I'm like, oh gosh,
it's always hard to watch yourself on camera. Yeah. I do the same thing when I'm editing. I'm like, oh, Chris.
Yeah, I hate watching myself. But then I have special engines that are like this one. This is a Lionel UP SD70, and there's nothing special about it in and of itself, but this was the first modern Lionel diesel that I got when I got back into the hobby. When I was in the hobby when I was up through high school, and then dropped out of the hobby in college, and then got married, and then had my kid. And then when I got back into the hobby around 2004 or 2005, this was the first modern Lionel that I picked up with has TMCC, and so it's always been special. And it was also a gift for me, on top of it being the first.
It's an epic gift.
Yeah. And my wife at the time got it for me for a Christmas present, and so it's always been special. And so for that reason, this engine is always on the layout. I cycle out all the other ones on the turntable and everything, but this one is always on the layout for that reason, because it was the first.
Well, that's cool. I didn't know that. So now I'll be looking for it in every video.
Yeah, it's usually in the back. You can usually see it in the background somewhere, and if I do a big running video, I'll usually run it at some point in the video. So It certainly doesn't, it doesn't have legacy sounds, in terms of like,
It doesn't have
sounds,
to have those though.
but,
Yeah.
but I love it anyway. So
That's going to be your next Eric Strange trivia question. So for those of you who are still on, just remember that. Union
Yep.
Pacific SD70. There you go.
There you go. Oh, he says, why can't they reissue the GE hybrids? Because I was told by Lionel that when they converted, when they went, they started making the ES44s in plastic rather than die cast at a certain point. And when they converted the tooling to be plastic, it was an irreversible change where you can't make it, you can't change the tooling to go back to using die cast metal. They changed it to use plastic instead. And so if they were going to do die cast again, they would have to build a whole new tooling, which, tooling for an engine like that is probably $100,000 or more. And so, so it's not impossible for them to do it, but they would have to spend a lot of money, and they're probably not going to do that when they have perfectly fine plastic bodied ES44s around. So that's why. And it's the same story with the genset. The genset switcher used to be die cast, then they made it into plastic, and they can't go back on that either.
The more you know.
The more you know. So that's the story about that. At least that's what I was told. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I was told by the folks at Lionel, and I guess they would know. So,
right on.
Someone says, "Is there a cat behind me?"
Yeah, Chessie just popped up there a second ago.
Oh, okay. I don't know where he went. Chessie,
like a ninja.
Yeah, he's around. They're both down here somewhere.
He's like, "Come feed me."
Yeah, I haven't shown Frisco very much in videos yet. He's a little more camera shy than Chessie is. Chessie doesn't mind being on camera. Have you guys ever considered expanding your layout? If so, where to and how far?
I have a finite amount of space in this basement, so I'm fortunate enough to be able to use the room I have, but there's really nowhere more for me to go.
Same here. I'm maxed out on space, so I can't really go anywhere.
So I have to go enjoy people with much bigger basements than I go.
Yeah. It'd be nice. It'd be cool if there was a place to expand, but not without adding onto the house and spending about $100,000 to knock out the back of the house and build onto it. There's no way to expand it. I have thought about, there was a guy I knew years ago who had a really cool layout, and it was in a finite space, smaller than mine. And what he would do is, once he had finished the layout, he really didn't have anything to do. And so what he started doing was every now and then he would tear down a section of the existing layout and rebuild it and make it something different, which I thought was really cool. So I've thought about doing that, in some parts where, just raising it and then like redoing it and making it into something completely different, so.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. It's like, that's kind of how I scratch that itch, is I'll tweak something here and there.
Yeah.
And my table's really adapted for this track plan, so I can't really mess with my track too much, but I can mess with scenes and things like that.
Yeah. It's hard to change the track plan.
Yeah. I saw RJ's trains being snide with me on here. Like he was here looking at it, and he has a whole plan for where I could put a turntable and all this other stuff. And I'm like, it's like we said earlier, RJ, I'd be happy to take your donation.
It's easy to Monday morning quarterback it and say, "Yeah, you should do that." There's it's always fun. People always have suggestions on, "Oh, you should do this," and a lot of times they're really good suggestions. But it's like,
he did. I mean, he had a brilliant plan. He was standing in the room. He showed me where everything's going to go.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful, but sounds like $6,000. I'm like, I don't have that.
Yeah. I'd rather spend that $6,000 on trains rather than redoing the layout. So, especially nowadays with the price, $6,000 will buy you about 3 engines nowadays. So, okay, let me see if there's one more question. Okay, what road name is the most represented in your rosters? So, Chris?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Okay. New York Central.
New York Central. There you go. I think on mine, I haven't done a road name count recently, but the last time I checked, it was Union Pacific. That was the most common one. And I
UP
think
would be number 2 for me. Yep.
Yeah.
New York Central and Union Pacific.
Can't go wrong with either of those. I'm a sucker for New York Central as well. Always love that stuff. And UP, you can't go wrong with UP. The thing I love about UP is that they basically had one of everything.
Yep.
You know, so there's pretty much no locomotive or freight car that they haven't had at some point in history. So it's you can basically do anything with UP, and of course New York Central. That's always I've got quite a lot of New York Central. So yeah, great stuff. Let me see here. Okay, so that's the last question. Someone says, "Are you coming out with that 50,000 subscriber video?"
Oh, there. Yeah, where is that? You're supposed to show us the whole
layout. I started working on it. It's still in progress. The problem is it takes a long time to make a video like that because I got to go through all the layout and go under the layout, and then I got to remember everything about the layout and talk about it. And it takes a long time. And so it's kind of like when you're making YouTube videos, it's one of these things where it's like you want to keep on putting out regular content, but yet you want to also make these cool long videos. And so you get into this cycle where you're like, okay, I'll work on this, but I got to get this video out first, you know, so it's in progress. I'd say it's about 50% done right now. I filmed the underside of the layout, and I filmed the Colorado room and the Carolina room. But I haven't done the main room or the hallway room, and I haven't done, talking about when the layout started and all that kind of stuff. So it's about 50% done right now, but hopefully it'll be out soon. What?
You just do your talking head stuff and get all your facts, and I'll fly down and do your B-roll, and then we'll crunch it out. And then by that time, you'll have 60,000 subscribers. So there you go.
Yeah, it'll be basically a 60,000 subscriber video now at this point. But yeah, it's or like a 55. I think I'm coming up on 55. But yeah, so it's in progress, but it takes a long time. It's kind of like the Acela video. People are saying, "Where does the Acela video?" And it's like, well, I broke one of the pantographs. That set me back about a week, and then also it's just a really big set, and there's a lot to talk about because, I mean, you've got one of those.
Tons. Yes.
It's a really complex set, and both Chris and I have had the pain of having to disassemble parts of that set. I think you had to open up the locomotive, and I had to open up one of the passenger cars. And it's like a Chinese puzzle getting that one of those passenger cars back together because there's so much stuff inside, and that's without, like, the original Acela had the automatic opening doors on the passenger. Right. I can't imagine what it was like then, because it's even now without the automatic doors, it's like, it's like,
I'm not even about to open one of those because I have the original set, and then I have the Polex version of the new one, the Polar Express.
Oh, you have one of the originals? That's cool.
Yeah, and but I'm not about to try to open up a passenger car to see why that servo is not working.
Yeah. Are those doors as much of a pain in the butt as I've heard?
So, surprisingly enough, all of my doors work except on my cafe car. So, RBP trivia, on the video I did, you don't see the cafe car when I do the opening door sequence. I put it out of the shot. But now you know.
There you go.
But and the ironic part is that the cafe car was part of the expansion pack, and that I bought, and it was factory sealed. The set was not. The set had been run before, but the expansion pack was factory sealed from 2005 or whatever it was. That's the only one where I had a problem with the car.
That's funny.
Anyway.
Yeah, I've heard, I don't have one, but I've heard those doors were a giant nightmare at times.
Yeah, luckily they've been very reliable for me, except for the one.
What makes them not work? Is the servo does it go bad or something? Or
you have the circuit board in there that's driving the servo. I don't know if that's where they fail, cold solder joints or what have you. On the actual mechanical side, it's a very light door, so I can't imagine it jamming or anything like that.
Yeah,
I think it's just something on the electrical side inside of it. And then, of course, it has that infrared tether that goes from car to car to car. So when you put it together, you have to really line things up.
Yeah.
And sometimes when it's going around, I mean, like I said, 072 curves are kind of a stretch for that engine. And sometimes on the older model, it'll go out of sync even when it's going around a turn.
Wow.
New one doesn't do that though. New one's good.
Right on.
But yeah, 50K video coming.
Cool. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it there. It's after 10, so we've been over
Time
2
flies.
hours. So yeah, I had a blast. This was a lot of fun. We'll have to do it again when the next catalog comes out, and
absolutely,
whenever that is, it'll probably come out. I guess they'll put it out around January or something like that. So, but yeah, I had a lot of fun. I hope everybody did too. Chris, it was great doing this with you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me on, Eric. This is just incredible. And to everybody that watched, thanks so much for sticking it out and listening to our opinions on everything tonight.
Yeah, for better or worse.
That's right.
Yep. Okay. Well, so I'll see you later. Everybody have a good night and a great weekend, and see you later. Thanks.
Take care.
No.